Senegal's quiet COVID success, test results in 24 hours, temperature checks at every store, no fights over masks. I know a few Senegalese living in Senegal. They said that people are generally respectful of mask orders but that a lot of people try not to wear them. Officially, though, the police will make you wear them if they see you without. They reopened bars a few weeks ago and then shut them down again. This is what happens when you have living generations that remember what infectious diseases looked like. Senegal was second in a list of 36 countries. The whole list is behind a paywall. Foreign Policy magazine. Anyone got the full list. Kudos to Senegal, many countries can learn from this. Wait, masks work? Always have. Oh, but they're poor, it must have been luck. They narrowed the success story down to Senegal. But if it was a negative situation, they will casually taint entire Africa. I suspect Senegal has a much lower rate of entitled fuckwittism than most Western countries. Removed. Same in Taiwan. And also Hong Kong. South Africa did the exact same. No protests over masks as yet. I've worked in 3 continents and worked in 4 countries. Senegal is the most awesome country I've ever visited. Senegalese people are frickin' amazing and this is no surprise to me, lol. I work in an hospital in Senegal and that article was true maybe 2 months before but not anymore. COVID deaths per million people. Asterisk USA, 569, 49. Asterisk Senegal, 18, 1. Obviously, here in the US our current occupant doesn't give a shit about people or lives saved, but he does claim to care about the economy. Which of these 2 economies has been less impacted by the pandemic, do you think? Good job, Senegal. I remember, back in the day, feeling a little superior hearing about such African beliefs as witch doctors making your penis disappear. How could anyone believe anything so dumb, I wondered. Haha. I imagine many Africans looking at the USA now, and having a similar experience. All you people comparing Senegal to the US, be careful what your ignorant statements may bring. Senegal is a republic with a strong presidency, weak legislature, reasonably independent judiciary, and multiple political parties. The president is elected by universal adult suffrage to a 7-year term. Meanwhile in Italy, after 34,000 COVID deaths. https://www. youtube.com/watch, v=bjk8k9nmsdq. Third world country, good first response. I read it as Seagulls' quiet COVID success and was wondering how TF the Seagulls were benefiting so much from this. This is what happens when you have responsible, mature leadership that chooses not to politicize a pandemic. Here in the US, it's an absolute shit show, with the president's son-in-law trying to profiteer off of state PPE contracts and the president himself trying to undercut testing efforts because they make his numbers look bad. Fights over masks? LOL, I feel like that's the kind of thing that only happens in shithole countries. Way to go, Senegal. I wonder what's in the disinfectant they're spraying on the students. Hopefully it's safe. This comes from the World Health Organization. It's been discovered that all you need to do is just add water and everything lives after that. Very good for Senegal, but every other country does this. I don't think this is a Senegal-only story. I think this headline is more to show Americans that they are retarded than to actually praise Senegalese people, because from my understanding, temperature checks, tons of tests and mask usage is standard in most countries. Still, kudos to Senegal. Keep fighting the virus. Okay, so USA is the shithole country and a small West African nation is successful? Shocking. This is incorrect and misleading. Senegal has very limited testing, https://ourworldindata.org/coronavirus/country/Senegal. This is a propaganda piece. Maybe one day the United States can join Senegal in being a first world country. The entire continent of Africa has seen infection rates significantly lower than the rest of the world. I'd be more interested in why this is the case. Many parts of Africa have significant healthcare and poverty issues, yet they have had less of an issue with this pandemic than most European nations. From a local Dutch news, www.nos.nl, site and translated to English, thought it was an interesting look on some American news outlets and how it creates polarizing views. NOS News Abroad Today, 6/25. How Fox News and CNN look at Kenosha completely differently. President Donald Trump visited Kenosha in Wisconsin last week. It is the American city where it was restless for nights after a black man was shot by the police. Two major news outlets, CNN and Fox News, both report a 17-year-old boy picking up his weapon and, it turns out, kills two people. Although the images from both channels correspond, the interpretation differs. For example, Fox anchor Tucker Carlson rhetorically posed to his daily audience of 4 million people, "Are we really surprised that a 17-year-old with guns keeps order because no one else does?" Profile picture. Tucker Carlson. At Tucker Carlson. Kenosha devolved into anarchy because the authorities abandoned the people. Those in charge, from the governor on down, refused to enforce the law. They've stood back and watched Kenosha burn. Are we really surprised that looting and arson accelerated to murder? 11 days ago. CNN, on the other hand, gave the floor to a professor who called for President Trump's silence on the violence of the 17-year-old to be condemned. The channel raises disproportionate violence against black Americans and points to President Trump. If you look at the Kenosha reporting, you can see that CNN is zooming in on the injustice done to black Americans, while Fox News focuses on looting. It seems like the whole country is on fire non-stop, says correspondent Arjun Vanda Horst. Fox News uses the frame, "The anarchists are in charge and the Democrats are making this happen." Propaganda and sensation. While Fox News is a propaganda channel, CNN is a sensation channel, according to Vander Horst. By the way, don't confuse the American CNN with CNN International, that channel is actually pretty good. America expert Madeleine van den Nieuwenhuizen lives and works in New York and is affiliated with the City University of New York, but because of the pandemic in the Netherlands. Of the Kenosha coverage, she says, "It's hard to prove that there is a causal relationship, but you can imagine there is a link between conservative TV hosts who condone violence against protesters, and people who then put such violence into the background." Put into practice. Rivals. CNN and Fox News have been at odds for years. Brian Stelter, a well-known face of CNN and an established media commentator, launched 2 weeks ago the book Hoax, Donald Trump, Fox News, and the Dangerous Distortion of Truth, about the deep bond between Fox News and President Trump. Fox News presenter Greg Gutfeld, in turn, doesn't have a good word for CNN and Brian Stelter. Fox News on CNN. Yet it is too simple to say that Fox News equals Trump News, says Van den Nieuwenhuizen. Lately, Trump has been arguably more critical of Fox News than before. He was furious when they showed polls in which presidential candidate Biden was in the lead. In addition, Fox was positive about Biden's speech at the Democratic National Convention. One presenter called this a successful home run. At the same time, this also says a lot about Biden's speech and about Trump's approach. Vander Horst knows. Trump is playing a game, he wants Fox News to lie on his back. He threatens to switch to another news channel, but then doesn't. Multiple players. The US media landscape is not all CNN and Fox News. MSNBC is also a major player. In fact, according to correspondent Vander Horst, comparing apples and pears can be done by comparing Fox News and CNN. MSNBC is really the opposite of Fox News and much more than CNN, a left propaganda channel. Van den Nieuwenhuizen, Fox News often shows an extremely conservative side, and on the other hand you have the progressive MSNBC that often exaggerate. CNN is more balanced, but they cannot be called neutral either. Fox News, average of 3.07 million viewers per day, prime time, July 27 to August 2, 2020. MSNBC, average of 1.88 million viewers per day, prime time, July 27 to August 2, 2020. CNN, average 1.36 million per day, prime time, July 27 to August 2, 2020. Source, Nielsen/AFP. The danger in this polarized American media landscape is that viewers will always be confirmed in the image they already have. This trend undermines democracy, says America expert Victor V. Lamb. People live in different camps and therefore the country cannot be united. According to Van den Nieuwenhuizen, the media only invite experts who fit their own signature. Not often someone comes along with a radically different opinion. Yet there is one thing that is no different, the rhetoric. It's all pretty fatalistic and dark, says Van den Nieuwenhuizen. At Fox, the message is, we will be lost if the Democrats come to power, and at CNN or MSNBC, the message is, 4 more years of Trump can't handle this country. They are illustrations of the polarization. Also look at civil militias and rioters, a deadly mix in Wisconsin.